Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video and gameplay. Today I have a fun deck that I've used in the past. This is an updated version of Teemo's Sin. There have been a couple of card changes in this deck that caused me to kind of reevaluate and to put different cards in the deck and just kind of reconstruct it in a way that fits the current meta. And so if you are unaware, we of course are running Teemo and Lee Sin, as well as a ton of mushroom producing units such as Clump of Wumps and the Chump Wump. The reason why these are so important are because of these mushroom clouds. 1-cost spells that synergize really well with Lee Sin and his level up condition, as well as his abilities. So when you cast a spell, he is granted Challenger. When you cast another spell, he gets Barrier. Once he's leveled up, he will cast Lee Sin's Dragon Rage on the enemy that you challenged, dealing his attack damage to the enemy nexus and either killing that unit or recalling it to their hand. He's a super powerful late game champion, but it's kind of hard to get to that point. So what we have in this deck are ways to, one, protect Teemo, and two, kind of protect our side of the board in order to get to late game and protect our units. So we've got Mystic Shot, we have Retreat, we have Concussive Palm, Deny, Static Shock, and we have just a whole bunch of jump blockers such as Claws of the Dragon. We're also running Eye of the Dragon, who produces Dragonlings when you have used 2 spells the previous round before. So we got these jump blockers and these units to kind of get us to late game in order for the opponent to kill themselves with drawing cards and mushrooms. Some really important spells in this deck are Flash of Brilliance. Flash of Brilliance, of course, will, 1, trigger the Puffcat Peddler when he's down, restoring our 3 mana that we have, as well as producing another spell in hand that, 1, we can either use the same round to get even more mushrooms into the deck. There's a whole bunch of utility in the spells that it provides. Damage, card draw, and damage in True Shot Barrage, card draw and Progress a Day. We've got some defense and Stand United. There are a couple that aren't super good, like Shadow Flare, but for the most part, these cards can be used and can be also game changing. So it's really nice to have Flash of Brilliance in the deck. That's about it for this kind of explanation of this deck. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
So we're going against a championless deck. I don't really know what to expect from this at Shadow Isles, so there could be an allegiance factor to it. Don't really know. We're going to keep our Claws of the Dragon and Teemo in the opening hand here. Both of them work pretty well early game. I don't necessarily want to play Teemo round 1. He could have a Vile Feast for turn 2 just to kill him off here, so we're not going to play Teemo. The Claws of the Dragon is great because it gives me a second turn play. He can't get rid of it, and I'm okay using it. I don't lose a lot of value out of playing it right now. I know a lot of people like to wait till they've got spells, but this just gives me a unit onto my board. And there was a possibility he couldn't play any units, so I could have got 3 damage on his Nexus. He ends up having 2 Thorny Toads, which is somewhat unlucky. They're pretty big bodies, hard to get past, and then they heal the Nexus, so generally you want to take those out before he takes damage to the Nexus. We kind of have a way to do that with our Static Shocks. Alright, just viewing my hand here, I do have a way to summon the Claws of the Dragon if I really want to with my burst speed spells, but I don't know that I necessarily want to do that. And I kind of want to wait until Teemo is leveled up before playing him, so I end up just doing an open attack here. Or attacking him full out. He can't kill my units, and I'm going to injure them, making them susceptible to Static Shock if I want to use that. He ends up having a Vile Feast, so that makes me happy. I did not play Teemo, so I just Vile Shock his units here. Or Static Shock, sorry, his units here. And he ends up having a Glimpse Beyond. Kind of unfortunate, he gets to draw cards, but he doesn't get value out of healing his Nexus, so that's okay. But like I said, he gets to draw cards, and we see that one Runation is tossed, which is good to know. A lot of decks only run one of them, so we don't necessarily need to be super worried about Runation now. There's a possibility that he has another one. Should always kind of be in the back of your mind, but we know one has been tossed. Alright, so we draw our Puffcap Peddler, which is great for this deck. It's going to allow us to level up Teemo a little bit faster once we play him. With all the spells that we use in this deck, it's really easy to level up Teemo so that he can't be focused by Vile Feasts anymore. We know that our opponent has used one of them already, so he has them in his deck. He ends up killing his other Thorny Toady or tossing more cards. I'm okay with him doing that because once again he doesn't get value out of the heal. He does, however, kind of make his Bard's Beast a little more powerful here, which I wanted to get rid of with the Static Shock before he could do that, but not much I can do about that. We end up using a spell to get our other Claws of the Dragon out to be able to block with here, and we block his bigger units. You'll see that we play mostly reactively when we play this deck. We don't want to be super aggressive, especially before we get a lot of shrooms into the deck and before Teemo is out. We want to play very reactively and defensively and to stall out our opponents and be able to win kind of late game with mushroom draws. Alright, he doesn't do anything. I was trying to bait out a spell or another unit to get his mana down a little bit. I could play Teemo, but like I said, he's got a lot of mana in hand. I don't necessarily want to do that. Think about Static Shocking to kind of clear out his board a little bit. I end up playing the Plaza Guardian just to get another unit out. That was really my only reason for doing that. I used all of my mana. There's an argument that it would have been better to use something else, but I would have only been able to get the Static Shock and then possibly the Teemo out, which, I mean, he still had a lot of mana, so it was still possible that he could kill Teemo with a spell. So Plaza Guardian seemed kind of like the best option. We could have ended the round as well, but once again, only having one unit, and I don't necessarily want to block with the Puffcap Peddler because he is kind of my win condition. I need to get mushrooms into the deck, as many mushrooms as I can. Alright, we get kind of lucky with the two Mystic Shots in hand, so we're going to be able to take out some of these units here, especially since he is threatening quite a bit of damage to us. It would have been really nice if we'd have had 8 mana for this round, but we played the Plaza Guardian last round, so we didn't have the 8 mana. I would have liked to been able to play the Static Shock, get card draw, and be able to take out some more of the units. But that being said, we did pretty good getting rid of one of them, and we still have 10 health. Our hand is looking pretty bare here, though, and he's being pretty aggressive with the units that he's playing. He ends up playing the Undying after attacking. That's kind of a mistake. He probably did that so that he could play the Ancient Crocklith, though. But still, he probably should have developed a little bit more, because he probably could have done a lot more damage to me. I'm okay with that, though. And now it's my turn, and we're going to play Lee Sin here, and he is one spell away from leveling up. So we use Trail of Evidence and level up our Lee Sin. So now we can threaten this guy quite a bit. So I attack with the with everything but the Puffcat Peddler here. I have to drag the Ancient Crocodile, otherwise he'll kill my Plaza Guardian, and I would like to use him later. He can still proc his units. He's got enough mana to play the Ancient Crocodile again. So it's not necessarily the best or the most efficient use of Lee Sin, but I also wanted to attack with my Plaza Guardian, so I didn't have much of a choice here. So he's going to be able to play his Ancient Crocodile again, and we clear his board a little bit and plant a lot of Puff Caps into his deck. We're in a pretty good spot here too. We've got 2 spells in hand for next turn in case we need Lee Sin to have barrier in order to block something, which is nice. And we're only down by 1 health here, and he has quite a few mushrooms in his deck. In his remaining cards here. So we're just kind of waiting for him to decide what he wants to do. He's taking a long time, which makes me think he might not have any cards in his hand, so he plays his Ancient Crocodile, kills his Horny Toad, Thorny Toad, and his other Undying. He gets kind of lucky with his Missed Call here and gets his Thorny Toad back once again. And he only draws 1 mushroom, so he's in pretty good shape here. Alright, glad we have our Static Shock now. This is going to help protect our Teemo. If we didn't have this Static Shock, we would probably be in pretty big trouble here. Because we want Teemo to be hitting the Nexus every single round.
The mist will have you.
Alright, so then I need to kind of consider what I want to do. So I know I'm going to save Teemo. And I consider killing.
Would a mushroom help?
I decide that I'm going to be taking way too much damage if I don't block into this Ancient Crocodile, so I end up putting down the putting the Plaza Guardian to kill the Ancient Crocodile with Static Shock as well, and just blocking with my Chump-Wump here. He's got 2 cards left in hand, so it's somewhat unlikely that he has something that's going to be able to save him. And I don't use my other spells because I want to use them next round in order to 1, be able to use Challenger with Lee Sin, and 2, use Barrier if they have a way to kill him. So we're going to end the round here hopefully, and we do. Now we're going to develop a little bit. Kind of surprised he didn't draw a single mushroom there. That was kind of unlucky for us, lucky for him. I sometimes wonder how these mushrooms get distributed in these decks. Alright, so he summons the Blackwater Scourge here. We don't want to deal with that.
Conflict is all in the mind.
And so we're limited to who we can attack with here, which is Teemo and Lee Sin. And we're going to pull the Spectral Matron and look to end the round, or look to end the game this next round, because we know that he's going to have the Spectral Maiden in hand again. I don't have a way to kill her completely, so she's going to be in hand again, and he's going to be able to summon another Blackwater Scourge with her, which would suck. We're going to end the round here, preserving our spells for defense, and then we get lucky here finally with the mushroom draw and end up doing 9 damage to him at the end of the game. So fortunately we're able to end the game right there. I didn't want his Blackwater or Darkwater Scourge to be able to come out and heal him. Got kind of lucky with that and ended up finishing the game.